포스트리 이어서 해보겠습니다. 저 위에도 있네. 이게 뭐야? 돌 3개를 찾아야 되나 본데? 빛이 어디 있는 거지? 아, 위에 떠 있구나. 빛이 내려가면 그냥 빛이 내려갈 때 웅크려주면 되네. 이쪽 하나를 찾고 밑에 뭐 있다. 점프. 이게 뭐야? 텐트요? 침낭. 게임이 나름 오픈월드네. 뭔가 흔적이겠죠.
On our property, there were old abandoned pieces of a shed and car long left unused. I used to ask him all the time who those people were that left all this junk, and I'm sure he got so tired of hearing it that he made up some elaborate stories how a brown bear ate them and haunted the woods afterwards. What's funny is I think it made those people seem more real, growing up thinking they were still hanging out like they couldn't say goodbye. I used to tell my friends how I could swear I saw spirits move near the water, and that always freaked them out. I guess it didn't bother me, because the way I saw it, they were normal people with old cars and sheds, just trying to figure out how to survive and be happy in the middle of nowhere. It was a cool thought that they didn't want to leave, but I was a weird kid.
Well, you had good company since those ghosts liked living in a place where they were brutally devoured.
자동차 휠인데. 휠 바퀴 부품. 저게 석관이구나. 이게 땅에 묻혀있네. 도면인데? 설명이 없네. 이 빛을 꼭 다 모아야 되는 건 아닌 것 같고, 다 모아도 맵이 넘어가는 거 보니까. 근데 나중에 저걸로 뭘 하는 것 같긴 한데. 어디서 무슨 폭포 소리가 나는데? 저기 돌이 또 하나 있네.
Even at my most distant, at the times when I detested him the most, he kept reaching out. For a year straight, he asked me every week when we were going camping. I thought he was just dense. Eventually, to shut him up, I agreed. We carried out the worn lawn chairs from the garage and set up a cinder
아버지랑
block
캠핑을
campfire
갔었나 봐요.
at the site we had always used behind the house. We walked down the mountain path, talking in the warm sunshine we only got a couple months of the year. Those 3 obsidian rocks shimmered alongside the shore, almost like sparklers pressed against a dark window. I'll never forget that wet stone on my feet,
캠핑파워에
or how those massive mountains looked even
칼인가?
bigger in the lake's reflection. I
캠프파이어도
felt
하고
small, but grateful. As the sun set, my dad found something I hadn't seen for a long time. The tree where I'd made my first carving when I was 6. I hadn't even carved it. My dad had helped me, but I still called it my tree. Something
아버지랑
about seeing my name
밤새
there made me
텐트에서
open
뭐
up,
얘기도 하고
and we talked about everything that night in that old camouflage tent. I told him how much I loved sketching and design, and how it would be a dream to study architecture in Seattle. I told him how I didn't get along with my friends much anymore, but that I didn't mind being alone. He told me he was there for me, and he joked that if all he had to do was write my name on a tree
나무에
to finally
칼로
get
뭐
me
이름을
out,
새겼나 봐요.
he would have left me carved logs with novels on them in front of my room every morning. I don't know why it took me that long to realize it, but it was then I knew how much he had sacrificed for me.
시애틀에서 건축을 공부하고 싶었다고. 끝에 잘 못 들었는데 아무튼 결국은 아들이 건축 일을 하고 있지 않을까 지금? 지도가 없어서 이쪽이 안 갔던 데가? 어디 폭포가 있나봐. 물소리가 되게 크게 들리는데. 돌을 하나 더 모으면 이쪽이 열리는 것 같은데?
My dad built a lot of stuff in his free time. If he wasn't watching fly fishing or reading Tom Clancy novels, he was carving something. He made tons of birdhouses. Not that he was into bird watching, but I think he really missed working and adding on to
새
it.
우리네.
If he couldn't afford the time to
아버지가
hold on to our own house,
만들으셨었나
we'd have
봐요.
to settle with watching birds move into their little homes. We kept an old mattress in the bed of that ugly yellow truck, so we would drive it deep into the woods and then watch the birds
아버지가
fly into their
이렇게
houses while the
만들고
sun
뭐
set.
조각하고 그런 걸 되게
Usually it
좋아하시는.
was accompanied by venison jerky or a cold Coke, but not a lot of talking, which is how we both liked it.
이쪽은 처음 입구에서 왼쪽으로 오는 길인 것 같은데. 맞네. 저쪽에서 들어와서 직진하면 아까 매트리스가 있었고 이쪽으로 가야 될 것 같아요. 저쪽을 안 갔었네. 야, 바위 까맣고 이게 다 흑요석인가봐. 이 안에 공간이 있네. 왠지 이 안에 무슨 뭐야? 올라갈 수가 있나? 올라갈 수 있는 데가 아니야. 이 안은 햇빛이 전혀 안 비치겠는데. 응? 왠지 저기 뭔가가 있을 것 같은데. 뛸 거리가 안 되고. 뒤로 올라가는 길이 있나? 뭔가 있나 보다. 저기 배경음이 바뀌었어. 마지막 돌 찾았네요. 내려갈 때 숙이고 내려갈 때 숙이고. 다 찾았다. 아까 그 나무 울타리가 열렸나봐. 그 나무 부러진 소리가 났어 지금. 나가는 데가 이쪽으로 나가면 되겠네. 이쪽으로 들어가서 한 바퀴 돌고 나왔구나. 저기 기억의 유물 같은 게 하나 있네.
We were happiest underneath the evergreens. We decided it was time to finally map out the hundreds of acres we lived on just to pass the time during the summer. He was only free in the evenings, so I would spend the day wasting time on dial-up internet and sketching, and then we would rush into the woods, pen and map in hand, before evening fell. Sometimes the aurora borealis would cast a cold green glow on the mountainside, and we would finish our route underneath a twilight sky. Sometimes I was lonely during those summer days, but there was comfort in the routine.
A lot of teenagers aren't looking for the daily grind, though. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get out, to leave your childhood home. You wanted to progress, to make something of yourself.
Yeah, you're right. That house. I'm sure it's the same as how I left it. But then why does it feel so different?
I doubt you're the only adult to have looked back and asked that question.
그래서 이게 뭐야? 때가 되나? 지도구나. 이렇게도 보이네. 너무 멀다. 다시 아까 열린 쪽으로. 보통은 뭐 집에서 뭐 인터넷이나 TV를 보던가 뭐 그런 식으로 시간을 보내는데, 이렇게 뭐 자연을 나와서 뭐 느낄 수 있어서 좋았다, 뭐 그런 내용이었던 것 같네요. 처음에 여우 얘기를 하다가 이제는 뭐 남자 그 어렸을 때 청소년기 뭐 과거의 얘기만 하네. 바람소리인가? 난 물소리인 줄 알았는데 그냥 바람소리인가 봐. 바람의 그 나뭇잎 소리. 저기 열렸네요. 이게 세 번째 맵이었나? 아, 이런 기억이 있으면 위에 아닌데? 자, 아무튼 다음 맵으로. 이거 뭐야, 올라가야 돼? 이거 먹으려면? 잠깐만, 오케이. 뭐야?
The perpetrator stood nearby, unfazed, like nothing was wrong. My dad is dead, and he's never coming back, Rachel. I can tell you these stories, but I can never reminisce with him again. He can never hold a grandchild that we'll probably never be able to have. I can never talk to him again, and I'll never be able to say I'm sorry for everything.
새끼 죽은 걸 또 발견했는데, 아버지랑 연락이 없는 줄 알았는데 아버지가 이미 돌아가신 것 같아요. 지금 이 여우, 얘 어디가? 지금 이 여우는 뭐야? 없어졌네. 이 여우가 암컷이고, 그 여우 얘기 중에 쉬라고 하는 거 보니까 암컷이고, 방금 전에는 그 수컷이었던 것 같아요. 경사가 거의 뭐 스키장 슬로프인데? 좀 돌만 없으면 겨울에
I need to go to bed. I just can't talk about this anymore. Good night.
뭐 이말 자러 간다고 하네요. 아버지랑 뭐 나눴던 편지인가?
Joseph, you can't go to sleep feeling like this. I'm sorry for everything, and I know you need space, but I'm here for you. You don't need to feel so lost. Joseph, have I ever told you what my mother was like?
남자가 조셉이구나. 이제 여자가 자기의 그 엄마 얘기를 하려나 봐요. 사슴 아니야?
You know what it's like not to have a mom at home. And you know how hard that made my childhood. What helped me was watching the birds in the morning before the school bus came. I thought that my mother was one of those birds, and it made me want to be free like her. My mom taught me how to fold origami cranes while she was in the hospital. So I told myself I would
어머니가
fold one
병원에
every
있었나
day
봐.
until I
그래가지고
could fly myself.
이 종이 접기로 뭐 이 종이약들을 적었나 본데.
I think we both have always loved animals, and for me that love started with a dog. Sometimes this Rottweiler would come up to our property line and wait at the fence for me, but only once in a while. I was sure to check every day immediately after school, and it usually ended in disappointment. I would even steal money from my passed out dad just so I could buy these off-brand dog biscuits. Even when she did stop by, she never went beyond the fence. Why was she so scared?
강아지를 좋아해서 개 비스킷? 이 개비스킷을 사려고 뭐 아버지한테 돈을 훔쳤다 뭐 그런 내용인데.
I think my dad was the opposite of your dad in almost every way, except he was in the military as well. He coped with alcohol of every kind. The trailer started falling apart, he got angry, and I withdrew. More and more I became the weird, quiet kid who made lots of origami birds and carried dog biscuits around. I think we were pretty similar when it came to being the weird kids. And that same sincerity in college was one of the reasons I was so drawn to you.
남자를 대학에서 만났나봐. 그러니까 남자가 아버지와, 그러니까 아버지는 이렇게 술에 쪄들어서 그런 모습이었고, 뭐 남자의 그렇지 않은 모습에 그래서 만나게 됐나봐요.
Survive another day with my soul still intact. I had no real friends, let alone neighbors, since we lived in the middle of nowhere. I should have talked to my teacher, but I was scared what he would do if he found out. As I waited for the school bus one morning, I walked around until I found something in an abandoned shed. Something I
버려진
can't put into words.
창고에서 뭘 발견했다고? 이게 뭐 창고 문인가봐. 무슨 문양이 있고. 아무튼 어렸을 때 환경이 좀 안 좋았나봐요. 자전거?
I summoned courage I didn't know I had, and I broke into my dad's room and found the key to the shed where he had locked my bike. I'll never forget that feeling, the wind rushing by my ears as the sun rose over fields of wheat. I was flying for the first time. I biked as far as my legs could take me until I found a house that felt friendly, and that felt like home. Those strangers helped me in so many ways. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have found my foster family. And if it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't have met you.
뭐 아버지가 창고에 숨겨뒀던 건가? 이 자전거를 아무튼 발견해서 아무튼 그때의 느낌은 뭐 하늘을 나는 듯한 느낌이었고, 아무튼 남자를 만나게 된 것도 하여튼 그런 뭐야 없네.
You have strength, Joseph, and you're not as alone as you think.
It's all just so pointless. just waiting for life to happen. It's like having the home I always wanted is cursed out of my reach. The thought of being a parent myself, how could I do that when I couldn't even be a good son? I'm sorry, I know what you're saying. I just don't know how things will work out. These quiet hours will turn into years. We'll wonder which roads passed us by.
Then we'll forge a new road together. Besides, I discovered for myself that one fateful morning where any hopeful road leads to. There may be thorns and mist, but it always leads to the same thing.
And what's that?
Family.
I'm so glad that you're part of my family, Rachel.
And I'm glad you're part of mine.
아무튼 지금 서로가 있어서 너무 기쁘다는 그런 내용이었어요.